3 weeks ago, Abby was a cheerful young woman with a big heart and loved educating young people. She had a very bright future and a career she loved. Today, she is between surgeries and physical therapy appointments with a career in question. How could anyone find the courage to confidently face a class of students again? Tonight, I'm giving an update, my people, on the tragedy that happened to Miss Zwerner, a 25-year-old teacher, 25 years young, who was shot in the chest where a bullet remains lodged in her body. A bullet from a gun fired by a 6-year-old child. So as an educator myself, the question is asked, what's next? How are we going to fix these things? A 6-year-old child was able to pick up a gun bought by his mother, owned by his mother or his parents, brought it into a school, a child saw it and complained to an administrator, and they brushed it off. Oh, it's the end of the day, so school will end soon. A child with a gun in the building. And it did not faze anyone enough to say, wait a minute, call 911. Whether it's a minute left for the school to end or not, this child could have been preparing to hurt somebody on a school bus. But you just push it to the side. Another little child who the boy showed the gun to, he ran to somebody in the school and he complained. And no one thought it was important to call the police. No one thought. The boy threatened the little kid that if you say anything, I will shoot you. And this young child, terrified, ran to somebody who could have made a huge difference. And so, we get up and we leave our families. We say, thanks for dropping me off in the mornings. My husband drops me off at work and I say, thank you. See you later. And as I think about those words now, I am thinking, you say these things to your family, not knowing. Because when you walk into the school building and you stand in front of children, you should be able to teach and guide and reprimand. But you really should not be wondering which of them is sitting there thinking or having a weapon ready to hurt me for no reason. What could the teacher have done? What could she have done to this child that would make this child pick up a gun during instruction to fire at a teacher, hitting her in the chest? And so now the teacher, she has come a long way, but as her lawyer said, the life she has now is a life that is just appointments and therapy. So now they're suing, and rightly so. I agree with them, and if you agree, please leave a comment. And this article that I am referencing is from the Associated Press, January 25th, 2023, and it's by Paul Bibo and Sarah Mervash. And they said that in the hours before the 6-year-old boy shot his first grade teacher in Virginia earlier this month, school leaders were warned 3 times. 3 times they were warned that the boy might have a gun. My goodness gracious, 3 times. And this is what the lawyer for the teacher said on Wednesday, including requests from employees to search the boy's pockets, and a report from another child who said that the boy had shown him the gun at recess. 3 times they knew. So it's a lot going on right now, and somebody have to give answers. And rightly so, my people. Somebody must give answers. It is so disappointing. It is so distressing, you know. One of the board members, Douglas C. Brown, he said, we're going to have to become a much more student disciplined and safety oriented board and division. And that is not only for Virginia, but all across America. And not just America, people. Jamaica, wherever you go around the world. These instances of these gun violences, something has to give. We cannot continue to live like this. And so the lawyer for Abigail Zwerner, who is Diane Toscano, she announced on Wednesday plans to file a lawsuit against the school district, laying out a series of escalating warnings on the day of the shooting, when the 6-year-old boy took his mother's gun from home and brought it to Richneck Elementary School and fired. A 6-year-old. A 6-year-old. And the Miss Toscano, in a report that she gave, she laid out the timeline of events that raised new and troubling questions about the school's response on the day of the shooting. And let me tell you, people, it's not just that school, but many schools around the place. Because when kids bring weapons to school, sometimes you as a teacher don't even know. The kid is in your class, in your grade level, and weapons are brought in, and they do what they do behind the scene, and you don't know one thing. There's no follow-up email to say, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, or anything. You're just left out in the dark. And so you keep coming to school, and you as a team, you keep saying, oh, I teach because I care. Yeah, we do care. But is there anyone who cares about us? Is there anyone who is thinking about our safety? Is there anyone thinking about the amount of abuse we have to tolerate day in and day out, but we have to get up the next day and walk in there because what? There are children who are still sitting there wanting to learn. There's a commitment that we have made that says we want to teach, we want to give back to society, and this is the way we want to give back. And there's that heart within us that forgives the past days' happenings and all the disrespect and and all of the things that we had to deal with. And we go back the next day because we say it's a new day. It's such a brand new day. We leave the past behind us and we'll continue. And so I can imagine this young teacher, vibrant, full of life, creative, I guess, preparing, because if she's teaching 6-year-old kids in the first grade, it means that a lot of hands-on activities, a lot of work has to go into it so that you can keep them focused, so you can keep them busy. But now we see how the gun violence is growing, especially in our schools. It's growing. So they said here in the report that at 1 p.m., another teacher reported that a student had come to the teacher crying, saying that the 6-year-old boy had shown him the gun at recess and threatened to shoot the student if the student told anyone. That's what Mr. Scano said. It's also said, what did the administrators do? She said at the news conference that, did administrators call police? No. Did administrators lock down the school? No. Did administrators evacuate the building? No. Did they confront the student? Another no. A third employee who heard about the situation asked an administrator for permission to search the boy, the lawyer said, but was advised to wait because the school day was almost over. Did you hear that? The administrator said not to search the little boy because the school day was almost over. And it is during this time, when the school day was almost over, that at around 2 p.m., as the police has said, the boy pointed the gun at Miss Zorner and fired in the middle of a lesson, sending the class of first graders scrambling. Can you imagine the trauma? Can you imagine the trauma that these little children have gone through, will be going through? The trauma, this woman who did nothing, what did she do? Her life has just become so topsy-turvy. Miss Zorner, 25, was shot in the chest and a bullet remains lodged in her body. And the client, which is the lawyer speaking, and she's saying that her client, Miss Zorner, right, is now beginning a long journey of physical and psychological recovery. Well, just think, as the lawyer said 3 weeks ago, Abby was a cheery young woman with a big heart and loved educating young people. She had a very bright future and a career she loves. Right? And again, as I said, today She is between surgeries and physical therapy appointments with a career in question. How could anyone find the courage to confidently face a class of students again? How could that ever happen, my YouTube family of subscribers? How could that? How could you face another class of kids without wondering when you're going to hear that sound again? A sound directed at you. And as we move forward, people, let us remember as parents that we have to be parents. Sometimes we're tired and we are at a point where we can't do anymore. We can't do anymore. But let us be involved in our children's lives. Let us, I like when parents are able to be home early enough so that they see when their children come home. Go through their backpacks. Go through it randomly so that they don't know when you're going through it. A lot of kids are street smart. So if they know that every night they come home you're going to go through the bag, they know how to hide things. But if randomly you pick up the bag and just go through it, they won't know when you're going to pick up the bag. So they'll be more cautious, I hope. But we have to be involved, people. We have to be involved. A 6-year-old child should not have been able to hide a gun and take it to him, to school. Have it on him until 2 p.m. when he was able to shoot somebody with it. That shouldn't have happened. Somebody should have known what he was leaving the house with that morning. Somebody should have known what's in his socks or what's in his pockets. Somebody should have known if it was in the book bag. Somebody should have known. That's a 6-year-old child. Somebody should have known. And now we feel bad for the parents. But somebody should have known. Someone should have known. The children are raising themselves today, and because of that, there is so much unnecessary pain and suffering. Gone are the days when children were held accountable for things. Today, they're just in and out. Nobody cares where they go, when they go, why they go, how long they go. They're just in and out of homes. And so they bring the same attitude into the classrooms, into the schools. They should just walk out when they want to, step in when they want to. You shouldn't talk to them, you shouldn't question them. You should just accept what they bring to the table. But people, we have to wake up, because it's not a good look. But I send up prayers for this young teacher, Miss Werner. I send up prayers for you, Miss Abby. And I hope that as you recover and you know, that mentally you will be strengthened, and so that you can live your full life. And I hope that the support will be there so that you'll be okay. And regardless, they say that this young kid, the family of the 6-year-old, has said he has an acute disability, and that his mother or father had previously been attending school with him each day. But that week of the shooting, just after the holiday break, was the first time that a parent had not accompanied him. So, the first day you're not accompanying him, he figured that the best way to go is to get a gun and bring it in. And you don't search him, you know that he has an issue, and you don't search him to see what's going on, to make sure he goes through the gate. But I pray for all of you. He's a child. He was not born Didn't come to this world on his own. As we say, children are born in this world as blank slates, and things happen, and environment has a lot to do with things that happen. And so we have to be wise, we have to be vigilant, and we have to make sure that we're taking care of the children so that the children can grow up to be productive adults. We have to be visible. We have to be present so that our children can have a future. Please like the video, please share the video, please subscribe to the channel, and each one tells one. If you can't be good, be careful, but walk good, people. Walk good, and don't stop praying, because we need the prayers.